Hi, and welcome to Starting from Scratch, how to make $10,000 in 2 months on a shoestring budget. Starting an ice cream truck was one of the best things I've ever done. And I decided to create this course because there's so many people out there that want to create ice cream trucks or are already out there with an ice cream truck, and they're really not optimizing their business. And that's what I'm all about. I'm all about how do you get the most out of what you have. And so most ice cream trucks that I see out there, they look kind of crappy. They don't have a great paint job. They don't have a great, they just don't look great. But they're also fundamentally, business-wise, they're not doing the things that they should be doing to get the most out of their business. As in, when you're driving an ice cream truck, one way to make money is to just get a great location, like on a beach somewhere, and just sit there the entire day. And that's really simple and that's really easy. But for a lot of you, that's not going to be an option for you. You may be going into a city and then you have a certain place that you have to stay the whole day. So that's another option. So that's going to limit um, the usefulness of moving around and the strategies for doing that. But if you're starting up in a town or a neighborhood or the outskirts of a city where you're going to be moving around, a lot of it comes down to the strategy of where are you going to be? Where are you going each day? What's your routes? What's your strategy for going on that route? What's your routine? And how can you maximize that? So that's part of what we're going to be talking about, those strategic things. We're also going to be talking about pricing. We're going to be talking about how to get your truck in the first place, how to pick a truck, how to find it as cheap as possible, how to figure out what kind of freezer you're going to use, and how to get your legal stuff set up also. So the first part of the course is going to be talking about how to get your truck, how to get your freezer, how to get all that stuff set up. And then the second part of the course is going to be how do you start actually making money? What do you do with your pricing? What kind of stuff should you carry? And then how should you go around and make the most amount of money? So that's what you can expect. And I also want to give you a little bit of an introduction into a philosophy that I want you to carry around. And that philosophy is summed up in these 4 points. You got to have fun. I mean, that's first of all. Because you want to a lot of an ice cream truck is appealing to nostalgia and appealing to that kind of fun attitude of the summer. And so if you're not tapping into that and you're just treating it like you're a vending machine, then people aren't going to form a bond with you. They're not going to form a bond with your business. And a lot of people, first of all, they stay loyal to an ice cream truck because of that bond. And they're also willing to pay higher prices because they have a connection with you and they want to see you succeed, and they're going to do whatever they can. One of the great things you can do to expand your business is to start going to places of employment like an office park or a construction site or a mechanic or any of these different places, anywhere where there's people working and then they have a break for lunch. You can go there and then they're going to buy ice cream from you. So if you have a really great bond with your customers, then that's something where they can invite you or they can help pave the way for you to come to their place of employment. And then instead of just selling to them, you're selling to dozens of uh, employees coming out during their lunch. And it becomes kind of a fun thing that they either have every single day or maybe they have once or twice a week. And all the employees can kind of relax and um, come together for that event which you're creating with your ice cream truck. So you got to be about having fun. You got to be taking pictures and just uh, focus on that and make sure you're not forgetting about that and create that personal relationship with each one of your customers. Small things add up. So you're going out every single day and you're probably on some sort of routine. So anything you're doing once, whether you're working 100 days a year, which is about the length of a summer, or even 200 or even 300, depending on where you live. But if, let's say you're doing you have the same routine, you're doing it 100 times per season. That means that something that maybe only affects you 1% per day is going to affect you 100% over that season, meaning you're going to be making a lot more money. So something that maybe only adds $10 to what you do each day is something that's going to add $1,000 at the end of the year. So if you can find 10 ways to increase how much you're selling by $10 per day, that's going to add up to $10,000 at the end of the year. So a lot of ice cream truck guys, they don't focus on that. They don't focus on how can I make a bunch of little improvements that are going to add up over time, because it usually takes a little bit of effort and a little bit of extra work to get something set up like that. So experimenting with selling different sorts of drinks or selling different sizes or experimenting with the price. If you're selling 100 things per day and you raise the price by 25 cents, then that equals $25 extra per day. So you're looking at $2,500 at the end of the year extra by charging 25 cents more per item that you sell. So little changes like that add up to a huge difference. So thinking about, well, can I get away with charging 25% more? That's going to make a difference of $2,500 or more, depending on how much you're selling. You should be selling at least 100 things per day if you've got as long as the weather's good and other things like that. But that's a good thing to shoot for when you're getting started. So how much are you selling per day? What's your profit margin? And increasing your profit margin by 25 cents can make a huge difference at the end of the year. Getting away, if you're selling something for $1.75, $2.75, $3.75, $4.75, if you have something easy that only costs you a few cents, but you can sell like bubble gum or something for 25 cents, so the quarters that people are left with, they can spend it on something extra, that's going to add up to a ton of money over time. So that's really important, and a lot of people don't focus on that, and they could just be making a ton more money just on the little things added together. Remember, 10 things that increase how much money you make by $10 a day is going to mean $10,000 at the end of the year. The way to get the most out of this course is you've got to go through it more than once. You've got to take notes while you're listening to this, and then you've got to go over those notes again and again. I'm going to be giving you a lot of different stuff to take action on, and it's impossible to get it all done at once. You may be at the stage where you're still figuring out what kind of truck you want to get, or how to get a used truck, or how to lease a truck, or what kind of freezer you want to get, and how to wire that all up, or how to paint your truck. So you're not at the stage of figuring out, well, what product should I sell, or how should I experiment with this, or how can I do different pricing, or what's going to be my roadmap of where I'm going to go each day. So you've got to write that stuff down and then come back to it later and make sure you've checked off all those boxes and done all the things that you need to do. So you can't just go through this once, because studies show that you're going to forget 80% of what you learned from a book or watch from a course within 3 days. So if you're not taking notes, what you're usually going to remember is a few key points that were really essential or really captured your interest, and then a few other random things kind of sprinkled around, and everything else is just going to be deleted, gone in the trash bin. So you've got to take notes, and you got to review it multiple times as you're going through the different stages of the life cycle as you get started with your business. Also, be paying attention to other ice cream trucks, other ice cream truck blogs, and even other mobile businesses, and look at, especially food trucks, look at what they're doing differently. Each person or each little business or truck that you come in contact with, there should be at least one thing that you can learn from them that they're doing differently. And what I like to do is just collect those. And as I said before, little things that only make a $5 or $10 difference each day, that's going to add up to a huge amount of money. So if you can think about each tip that you collect from another ice cream truck or food truck or business or whatever as something that's going to add a little bit of money each day, and that's going to add up to 100 times that much at the end of the year. If it's even something that only makes you $1 extra a day, that's $100 at the end of the year. So if it only takes you an hour to set that up, it's still worth it, even if it's only going to be an extra $1 a day, because over time, at the end of the season, that's going to add up. And year over year over year, it's going to multiply even more. So that's the power of adding up all these little things and learning things from other people, and then having a notebook where you keep all this stuff down. So that's it for this introduction. In the next video, we're going to be getting into how to get your truck, and that's what we'll talk about next.